Thanks for tuning in to Electric Bike Journal. In today's video, we're going to be talking about pedals. Most importantly, how to install them. It's not that difficult of a task though, so we'll help show you how to get that done the right way. Well, it goes without saying that pedals are a vital part when it comes to bikes. Without them, you're just pushing that thing along like a kid on a Strider bike, which isn't too bad, but you got a bike and you want to ride it. And there's probably a few reasons why you have looked up how to install bike pedal. One is you're in the middle of doing it and you can't figure out why one of them's not threading in. You broke a pedal, so you're getting ahead of yourself to learn how to do this, or you got a new set or want to get a new pair of pedals, and again, be ahead of yourself and knowing how to swap those out. Well, for those of you looking for just how to install pedals, I'll make this easy for you. Check down in the chapters and skip ahead to the installation process chapter marker. That'll get you right into the nitty-gritty on how to do this. Well, almost as important as knowing how to take pedals off and put new ones on is choosing the right pedal for your application. Generally, when it comes to new bikes picked up from the store or ordered online, they come with lower spec pedals that are not rebuildable, they're maybe plastic, and they can break, or they just don't fit right for your shoe and you're always sliding and losing a pedal. There's a lot of reasons why you might not love them. They will do the job and they'll get you from A to B, but there are options on the market that are intended to make your pedaling experience better. Well, when it comes to choosing the right pedal, there are flat pedals and clipless pedals. For this video, we'll be focusing on flat pedals, as clipless pedals are generally more for a racing or more extreme rider. For city, urban riding, not many people tend to want to ride clipless pedals because they want to ride their shoes they're going to be wearing all day and not specific shoes that have cleats in the bottom of them to clip into that pedal. So with flat pedals, on the far end of that spectrum, in the mountain biking, more extreme side of things, there are mountain bike pedals. Generally, they're made of aluminum and they have replaceable pins on them. These are Crank Bros pedals, the stamps in large, and they have different pins all the way around the pedal that are adjustable in height. They're replaceable, and the spindle on the pedal itself is also rebuildable, so you can take them apart and service them, re-grease them, repair bearings, and make them last a very long time. Like I said, these are focused for the mountain bike industry. A mountain bike pedal is absolutely a pedal that you can ride around town. It's going to take the abuse of curbs and poles and bike racks and all those things, but those pins might not be gentle on the bottom of your shoe. And if you're wearing nicer shoes to go to work on your commute, a pedal like this might cause some damage to the bottom side of your shoe. Not something that you're probably looking for. Well, moving away from that mountain bike focused flat pedal are some different pedals that we have from Redshift. These also are aluminum body pedals and they have integrated teeth in them. So as opposed to having replaceable pins, these have molded in teeth to that aluminum body. It's a little bit wider, a little bit shorter. They offer really great grip in the wet and in the dry, but they're going to impact your shoe a little bit less when it comes to wear and tear. What is cool about these pedals, even more so, is the fact that it has LED lights in them. This is something that we're starting to see a lot more with city and commuter focused pedals, is that they will have LED light systems in them. What's unique about the Redshift is that light module is removable and you can charge it by USB. Pretty fun thing. If you're interested in these, we have a full write-up and review on the website and you can check those out further. A little bit more approachable in the spectrum of commuter pedals and just great pedals to have around are these pedals from Look. Look is a very reputable manufacturer of bike components, specifically in the pedal world. And these pedals are unique in the sense that they are composite as opposed to the other ones, which are aluminum. And they have a replaceable pad on the top and bottom of them with Vibram rubber that works really great in gripping to your shoe. honestly, from anything from sandals, which I don't recommend to ride in, to dress shoes or even your regular sneakers. That Vibram pad there grips really well on them, again, in dry or wet conditions. And when that pad starts to wear out from use and over time, you can unscrew it and order new pads to keep your pedals going longer. Again, we have a full review on these pedals on the website, so check those out. All right, well, that's just a few of the pedal options to kind of show you the difference between an aggressive mountain bike pedal and a plastic composite type pedal for city and urban riding. Well, that's just a few pedals that we really enjoy riding, and we like the differences between them, all for different reasons. Mountain bike pedals when we're out mountain biking, pedals with lights on them for when we know we're going to be riding in lower light and darker conditions, and even those look pedals and being able to know that we have that Vibram sole, which grips really well, to kind of smoother, more dress-like shoes, which is something that comes up and something that some people might be looking for, is a pedal that doesn't tear up the bottom side of their shoe. That being said, there are a lot of pedals on the market, and these are just a small collection, and hopefully that helps give you direction when you're looking at pedals and seeing all the hundreds of options out there. You can kind of fine tune that and decide, do you need it rebuildable? Do you need the replaceable pins? Do you need lights? And kind of fine tune your search to looking at those. Again, we'll have links to those ones specifically down in the description, and we have reviewed them on the site. So if you want to learn more about those, check that out. Well, when it comes to removing your old pedals and installing new ones, there's really only 2, maybe 3 details that you need to know to make sure you accomplish that task safely and the right way. First off, which tool are you going to need to use to remove your old pedals and install the new ones? This right here is a 15mm pedal wrench from Feedback Sports. It comes in their full collection of tools that they offer. This one's really nice because it's very thin and it's able to go onto the pedal on the outside of the crank there, between the crank and the pedal, to latch onto the pedal and remove it. A standard 15mm wrench can work there, but it is going to be wider. So when you put that on your pedal, there's a good chance that it will fit on there, but it'll also rub on your crank or your pedal and could cause some marring and damage that you might not want. Alternatively to a pedal wrench, a lot of newer pedals are actually coming with like a hex bolt on them. So you can use either an 8mm or a 6mm, and that goes into the pedal itself. These ones happen to use a 6mm, and they fit in there to help you remove the pedal. The second most important thing to know about removing and installing new pedals is the fact that one of the pedals is actually reverse threaded. Typically, the saying goes, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Well, that is the case for your right side pedal. Your left side pedal, however, is lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. We'll zoom in here on these to show you that difference, but when you're looking at those threads, oftentimes the pedals will be labeled right and left, but you will also be able to tell by looking at the threads if one is a standard bolt thread pattern and the fact that the other one looks backwards. Well, the last major detail to know when it comes to removing and installing new pedals onto your bike is making sure that you grease them up. Oftentimes pedals have been shipped and you buy them and there's no grease on them. I like to use the Maxima grease, which is made by a company that focuses on sports and specifically bicycles and motorcycles, but that's a real great grease to put onto your threads. All right, well, that's the 3 steps to pay attention to. Let's take off some old pedals and put a new set on. Well, let me show you how to remove your pedals and how to install the new ones. First up, you're gonna find the right tool for the job. Typically, a pedal wrench will do most every pedal, and if you have the option for a hex wrench, I really like using hex wrenches to install and remove pedals. That being said, we'll use them both to show you the process. Well, now that you've got the right tool for the job, you're on the right side of the bike. That's going to be the easiest one for you to do because it is standard thread. So that means righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Clockwise being righty, counterclockwise being lefty. So if I want to loosen this up, I'm going to go ahead and move the pedal to a position that I can put the wrench onto the pedal and make sure that keeping fingers out of the way, and you're just gonna break it free. Sometimes it's a lot harder than that, but if you use grease, it'll help to put your pedals on and off. Much easier if you have to remove them. Now, the reason why the left pedal on every bike is always reverse threaded is that it is tightening towards the front of the bike, and in theory, as you're pedaling, it's helping keep tension on the pedal as a bolt threaded into the crank arm to keep it tightening towards the front of the bike as you're pedaling in that forward motion. So in this case, I'm going to switch over to using a hex wrench. These Redshift pedals use a 6mm. I'm going to position this in a downward position, and I know that I'm going to be going reverse of what I would normally do to loosen this pedal up. So I'm going to be backing it off and spinning it clockwise away from the front of the bike toward me. And like I said, sometimes they're snug and sometimes they're not. A little bit of pressure pops it free. Again, keeping them greased up makes that much easier. All right, with the old pedals off, we're going to grab our new pedals and our grease. First, inspect your pedals and decide which one is right or left. Most of the time there is some sort of indicator or marking that says R or L, and that will help you know. If you don't have that indicator or marking on your pedals, if you just look at the threads, you will see that one is standard threaded and the other, in fact, is going the other direction, meaning it's reverse threaded, and that's the one that goes on the left side. Now that you have that sorted and you know which pedal's which, grab your grease. I have this nice little brush to make it easy. You don't need a lot on there. Kind of look at it and see if there's any dirt or debris in the threads and put that grease on the pedal. And you're going to come over to your crank arm, and this is the left side. These look pedals don't actually accept using a pedal wrench. They only use a hex wrench, and in this case it's an 8mm hex. Now, just like removing it, we're going to reverse that process and thread it counterclockwise towards the front of the bike, and those threads are going to catch. And I like to do it very gently because you don't want to cross thread. That will definitely damage beyond repair for the most part if you do cross thread, but they should thread in very easily. So if you're struggling at all, just stop and reevaluate, see if something's in the way, or if you accidentally mix them up and have the wrong pedal. Well, that is now all the way in. And when it comes to tightening your cranks, because we tend to take pedals on and off often, we just get them nice and snug. Every manufacturer will likely have some sort of torque spec, but a lot of us don't have torque wrenches. So a good rule of thumb is just get it in there with the pedals down and just push it towards the front until it's nice and snug. Well, thank you so much for watching. We really hope this video was helpful to you. As you can see, the task of removing and installing new pedals is not difficult in and of itself, and honestly just takes one tool to do it. But you can see why there's a lot of questions on why isn't this working? If you were never told, why would you ever guess that one of the pedals would be reverse threaded and you're gonna sit there and spin and spin and spin? So again, we hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions about other maintenance tasks to perform on your bike, whether that's removing and installing new grips, adjusting your seat height, your seat angle, your brakes are rubbing, they won't stop squealing, whatever your question is, leave that down below. We'd love to continue this tech tips series and answer those questions as they come up. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.